Hello, everyone. We have some very interesting news to show that appeared on a number of websites, and people are already talking about it. A patent from Nintendo has been revealed online. Now, this was filed in February earlier this year. Now, patents is something about a new technology or something like that. Looking at the patent pretty roughly, there doesn't seem to be anything that's particularly new about it, but I'm sure that if someone does some digging into the patents, they might find something that's a little bit innovative or different. But that's not the main thing. This patent is for a gaming console. Yes, this could be very much for the Nintendo NX. Now, this is the sort of basic information that was in the patent. It is a gaming console. It does not have a disk drive. It does not have a disk drive at all. It looks to be a digital only console, but it does not restrict other NX projects at all. So there may be more than one hardware for this type of project and idea, the whole NX sort of idea. It will have an internal hard drive, internet, CPU, GPU, RAM. So it pretty much works like a gaming console should. It will have full multitasking. It will have the ability to download games, um, and all that sort of thing. All the sort of stuff that you expect from a gaming console. Pardon me. However, here's the interesting part. This is the really interesting part. The game will have code that will have more than one hardware configuration. So what's the important part about that? We've heard Awada and other people speculating, talking about unifying the the hardware and the software. We're talking about brothers, that in the future that handhelds and home consoles will be more like brothers, very, very close. And the discussion that has been talking about is that it will be the unifying of the operating system, which means that you will be able to play games on your home console and your handheld, which is very interesting. So it could be possible to buy one game, use it for the next handheld console and for the next home console. And that's been the sort of idea of this unified operating system happening in the last few years. Now, some people say it's not going to happen, but looking at this patent, if this patent actually comes out to be true, it's quite possible that it may be. But who knows, this patent may not even be used at all. It could be a completely different gaming console. So we just don't know on that part. There is a space for SD cards. Now, there's been some talks on the airGAF and a few other internet forum boards and websites and that Nintendo could be going back to SD cards, which could be a very interesting thing. Now, this is my thought on that point. I have a funny feeling I'm thinking Nintendo logic here, and sometimes Nintendo logic doesn't work, doesn't quite make a lot of sense. Now, some people are thinking that you can get the SD cards and play them on the home console. I think that you can. I think that that's quite possible, and I think that you'll be able to use the SD cards that you buy for the handheld and do it for the home console. I think that's becoming a possibility. Now, some people will be thinking, well, geez, SD cards cost quite a bit, but if you buy them in bulk in millions, it's going to be pretty cheap. Probably similar to discs. And they come in all sorts of sizes now, not just 8 or 16 gig, but 64 gig and 128 gig and 256 gig now. So they'll definitely be able to fit games on it. So that's one possible scenario they can do. Or this could be a digital only console, just a pure digital only console that removes the disk drive. So there's a lot of scenarios and thoughts about what this console may be like. My punt is on a digital only console using the SD cards, or they will release some sort of disk drive. Now, this could be like a cheaper version of a console that they could do. They could release different home consoles, one which is just digital only, and another one that has a disk drive. So they could take a number of ideas and thoughts about that in the future. So have a look at the patent, have a look at what you think may be happening for the Nintendo NX, but it's going to be really interesting to see where this all happens in the future. It was filed in February. I'm thinking that maybe still the end of next year. You know, this time next year you'll really be hearing a fair bit of buzz about this NX. You know, what it's going to be like and that. There will be information about it from next year in 2016, and hopefully we'll find out some more info. So that is it from me now. Continue the fun speculations and things like that, but of course this is not official. It's just looking at paint and sort of logically going through it and going, well, you know, what could this be? And the only way we'll find out is when Nintendo actually reveals something. So that's all from me, and I shall see you later on Nintendo Ninja News.